Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris and Tyler from Think Outside the Box Office. Today, we have a tier list of the entire Scary Movie franchise, all 5 films we're going to rank in preparation for the sixth one coming out June 5th. I think it looks really good. Tyler, let's rock and roll.
Starting off with Scary Movie, the original. Starting off on a high note. It's kind of got to be a good movie to have a franchise that goes this long. I was debating on whether or not any of the movies that we're going to be covering deserved an S.
Same.
I think if any of them do, it's this one. I think it was a lot of fun. A lot of the humor still holds up. Some of it's a little dated. Some of the references maybe not as relevant anymore. I like them taking on slasher movies. I love Scream. I know What You Did Last Summer. Um, some of the later movies kind of deviate from that like theming. Uh, but really solid movie. Still found myself laughing super hard at all the different jokes, and I think it's an S.
I also debated on whether or not any of these deserve an S tier. And like you, I came to the conclusion that this one, I think does. I think I'm going to put this at S tier as well. This was I was like 11 or 12 when this came out. This was game changing in my life. Like seeing all these horror movies I loved spoofed into this funny, very inappropriate way by these guys. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It is definitely the shining star of the franchise. And like you said, we kind of dip away from that formula of like sticking to horror themes before we just start diving into just everything that's popular. They got to cram into this franchise. But this one I think still holds up for the most part. And I think most people would agree on that. Seems like this movie still holds a lot of love. I think S tier is appropriate for the first one.
I think it was really good at like weaving all the different storylines into one cohesive story, where some of the later sequels kind of struggle with that. Scary Movie 2. This is the one that I had the most trouble with. When we first decided to do this, in my head, I was like, there's a possibility that there's 2 or even 3 S tier in here. And upon my rewatch, I don't think all of them stack up as high as I thought they would. 2 is one of those that I thought could potentially get an S. Within the first 10 minutes, it's just wall to wall jokes. It had me laughing the whole time. It still holds up. It's still hilarious. I think they went a little overboard with like the gross out like toilet humor in this one.
You're right.
Within like the first 5 minutes, she's like peeing on the floor. They're rubbing her face in it. She's puking. There's the scene on the toilet. I mean, it's all pretty funny, but at a certain point, it's like, all right, it's getting to be a little bit much. Still super funny. I think for me, it's an A. It's pretty close to being right up next to the original. I'm definitely more of a slasher guy than like a supernatural horror guy. So I think A is pretty good though. I think it's still super funny, still worth a watch, still awesome.
I am going to agree with you again. I'm also going to give this an A. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have stacked this right next to number one on S tier. I've always had a fondness for the second one. Upon my rewatch this time, I thought the same thing as you. Like, I gravitate more towards the slashers. I did like the opening of like The Exorcist, like mock up. I thought that was super hilarious. And then going into spoofing like, um, is it The Haunting that I think most of this movie plays off of? Like Old Master Kane and
Mm-hmm.
like the house is possessed and like all that shit. It was funny. There are a lot of laughs. It brings in some funny cast members. You got the best ones from the first one returning for this one, but I think it's missing a little something that made the first one special. So A tier is great. This is as close to the first one as we're gonna get. I think from here on out, it goes downhill gradually at first, and then really starts dipping as we approach 4 and 5. But I think A tier is pretty appropriate for this one.
I agree. Scary Movie 3. I love Scary Movie 3. Scary
Same.
Movie 3 was the first one that I watched. Like I was aware of the other two, but for whatever reason, it was the first one that I ever watched. And I thought it was hilarious. I was a big Eminem guy when I was younger, so like the 8 Mile stuff really resonated with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if now I look back and I'm a little curious why they decided to make such a big portion of the movie not a scary movie spoof. Um, this is the only other one that I thought maybe could bridge the gap from A up to S. Upon my rewatch, it is still funny. It wasn't as like wall to wall laughter as like 2 and 1 were. I think a little bit was lost when the Waynes left the franchise or were
Oh,
forced out of the franchise, however it came to
100%.
pass.
Yeah.
It's still an A for me. It's still super funny, even though we lost the Waynes. I thought Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart were pretty funny.
Yeah.
We still have Cindy and Brenda, and I think they pretty much carry whatever is left of this franchise on their shoulders. Pretty funny movie. I was never a big fan of The Ring, but I did like Signs. So I don't know. I have a lot of fun with this one. It still makes me laugh. A tier.
I see. I think this one might be the hardest one for me to place because it did lose some flavor with the Waynes not coming back. We do get Brenda and Cindy, which are always a lot of fun. Even in number four, which we'll get to here in a minute. Uh, Charlie Sheen and Simon Rex spoofing the brothers from Signs was pretty funny. Like you, the ring's okay. I think spoofing it's kind of funny. There's definitely some laughs to be had. It tones down a lot of the like inappropriate humor and stuff like that. It goes from R rating. I think this is the first PG-13 one in the franchise. Charlie Sheen is a classic when it comes to these spoof movies. Man, I'm gonna give this an A, just like you. I think there's still a lot of fun to be had. It hasn't quite reached the point where you're over it yet. I think as we get into these next two, we'll start to see the quality and stuff just really sink. But I think A
100%.
is appropriate for Scary Movie 3.
Awesome. I thought this is where we were going to divulge. I think there's a lot of people that would actually put 3 above 2. I think these first 3 people have in various orders. I think there's some people that put 2 at the top. I saw a lot of people online that put 3 at the top, which I thought I was going to be one of those until I rewatched it, and here we are. Scary Movie 4,
Oh man,
the beginning of the end.
for
Uh,
real.
this was the first time I'd seen 4 or 5, and I didn't expect much. I'll say 4 was a little bit funnier than I expected, but still not very good. We still get Cindy and Brenda, which is the only reason it's good at all. Everyone else is gone. Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart come back, but they aren't even that funny in this one. I liked a couple of the Brokeback Mountain jokes. Still sinks pretty far down the list for me. I did enjoy it. There were some laughs to be had. I put it on C tier. Part of me considered going lower than that, but some of it was still funny. I like War of the Worlds, so that stuff was interesting, if not all that funny. The village stuff was kind of funny when she catches the creatures and they turn around and do the ooga booga booga booga. Like
Right, right.
some of that was kind of funny. Like I said, Cindy and Brenda were still funny. C tier.
This is where we start to get a lot of cheap laughs, a lot of just like silly gags that like you might get a slight like huh, but like not a hearty chuckle.
Yeah.
The humor really dips when we go into 4 and 5. Brenda and Cindy are cool, even though Brenda like died in the third one and came back, but whatever. They got Carmen Electra coming back for another role. They got is it Christopher Elliott, the guy from Scary Movie 2 that plays like the village idiot here in number 4 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
makes a return. Yeah, this one's tough. I'm gonna go C, just like you.
Tier.
And yeah, Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart were very underutilized in this one. They killed off Simon Rex's character with like the $1 million baby spoof of like breaking necks and the Tyson lookalike biting ears off in the boxing scene and stuff. Yeah, I think this lost a lot of flavor. I would have brought back Charlie Sheen and Simon Rex from 3
Yeah.
to carry this one, but they didn't do that. I think C is fine. the quality really starts to show the lack here.
We talk about the theming change. I thought it was funny that like 3 was The Ring and Signs, and then this one was Grudge and War of the Worlds. When I think it would have made more sense to put like War of the Worlds and Signs together, and then put like The Ring and The Grudge together. I think that would have been a better separation.
Well,
Uh,
then 4 is where they also threw in some Saw stuff as well, like
yeah,
World of World alien captured you, and then when you went into the ship, then it approached the
yeah.
Saw approach. So is that saying in the beginning that Shaq and Dr. Phil already got sucked up by aliens? At that point, you're just reaching for whatever was popular, and
Mhm.
I don't think they stuck the landing.
Yeah, and you mentioned it just being like a bunch of like goofy bits and stuff, which I guess you could say that about the whole franchise, but like I was surprised how many jokes were like, "Ha, that guy hit his head."
It's a lot of
It's like
getting hit in
bonk,
the
bonk,
face.
bonk.
Yeah.
A lot of
Cindy gets hit in
slapstick.
the face with like a football, a soccer ball, like she's constantly getting, there's a lot of pee jokes and stuff too, like the sponge bath, the old lady with her own urine and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Still a lot of names showing up in these movies. Like that old lady was, I think, Cloris Leachman,
Yep.
who's in tons of shit. Little John, I think, or lookalike showed up at the end. I couldn't
Mhm.
tell if that was actually him or not. But yeah, and War of the Worlds is pretty divisive itself. So spoofing it in this movie was like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
all right.
Number 5. This one was
Ah,
this one was the easiest to rank. It goes straight to the bottom, D tier. Didn't need to happen. Worst cold opening. I hated the Morgan Freeman impersonator narration.
yeah,
Cindy and Brenda are gone, so literally all the heart is completely gone from the franchise. Kevin Hart, Anthony Anderson, they're gone. I liked seeing Mac Miller because I'm a Mac Miller fan, but I didn't think his and Snoop's part was really that good in the movie. I think they were trying to fill Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart's shoes, and it just didn't really do anything for me. I liked the Evil Dead part a little bit because I liked that movie, and it was kind of funny to see them activating and then deactivating the curse. I thought that was pretty
right.
funny. Cat Williams like kicking the table, like pretending to be a medium or whatever. That I think there was fun to be had, but like one of the main movies they spoofed was Mama, and Mama was okay, but I don't think a lot of people were even aware of Mama or watched it. I didn't think it really earned its place as the center of attention in one of these movies. So
For sure.
D tier for me.
I actually do like the Mama movie, but I did think it was almost not like well known enough to be spoofed as hard as it was. It kind of played into the paranormal activity stuff of them filming the stuff in their house, but to me it didn't lean into that enough. Like I think they could have benefited more from that. Also, Black Swan, like we're spoofing Black
Oh yeah,
Swan a lot throughout this movie, and I was kind of like, yeah. Bringing Simon Rex back is cool because he was hilarious in number 3, but you brought him back as a completely whole new dude, starring in a whole movie, and I was like, I didn't like that. You coulda got anyone else to play this role and not
right.
have him ruin the legacy he had from number 3 because it was hilarious. Ashley Tisdale, I think, deserved better. Easily, this falls into D. This is easily the worst one. I maybe got a few chuckles, but I couldn't tell you if they were, like, deserved chuckles or if they were, like, pity chuckles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this was easily the worst one, and I think it came out a few years after the 4th one, which is, like, to me, shows, like, "Hey, we really gotta think outside the box for this." Total misfire.
Yeah, I'd say if anyone out there is curious, you could watch 1, 2, and 3 and then ignore 4 and 5 and just live the rest of your life completely happy.
Yeah. The loss of Brenda and Cindy was absolutely felt, in number 5. Um, but, to bring them back into number 6,
Yeah, that's great.
which I think looks hopefully a return to form. I don't know that we can top the very first one, but hopefully this one can sit towards the top of the pack. Comes out June 5th. I think it looks pretty funny. I mean, it's spoofing everything from, the new Scream movies to Sinners to, you know,
Terrifier.
Terrifier, yeah, there's like some Megan references in there. I think it's got a lot of potential, and hopefully it does well because it would be kind of cool to see the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I wanna see it do well. I wanna see comedies get back to, like, taking more chances and
yeah,
pushing the bar a little bit.
for sure.
I think there's maybe, like, a slight possibility that there's, like, an overcorrection where they're, like they go too far in the direction of, like, "What, you're offended?" You know? Like,
Yeah, right.
I know a lot of the marketing is, like, "Get ready because 'cause we're back and you're gonna be offended," and it's like, "Okay, that's fine. That's good." But don't make a bad movie, and then when people don't like it, go, "You were just offended."
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I
you're
don't think
walking a
that's gonna
very
happen. I think this is gonna be good.
they're walking a fine line. Times are very different than they used to be. You know, the world is very easily offended with seemingly everything nowadays. So yeah, I'm expecting some people to be like, ah, they offended me, but man, that's what
Right.
comedy can be offensive without hurting your feelings. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid list, and I think majority of people would probably agree that more or less on most of these.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially with the first ones holding as much power as they did, and the later ones not.
Yeah, I did find myself wondering if, like, new people to the scary movies would, like, get a lot of the references from especially the first 2. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah,
I think a lot of people are gonna be watching these in preparation for the new one, so I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people talking about them.
yeah. Hopefully these find some life on. I think they are all available on Paramount Plus right now. Hopefully, in preparation for the sixth one, people like we did go back and watch these and just remember how fun they were. Like,
Yeah.
offensive or not, I think these guys were just shooting movies to have fun, and I think it shows. I think they were trying to have fun in the later ones, but also trying to like meet and appeal, and I don't think that they succeeded in either of them. But starting out, these movies were just pure fun. Guys, if you like what we're doing, check us out. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon. We're out there. Tell us what you think about our tier list. Tell us what your tier list of these scariest movies would be. These hold, at least the first ones, hold a lot of special place in my heart, man. Like these were game changers for me as a horror fan, and then seeing these brought to life in comedic and like funny ways. I think they still hold up for the most part. Franchise, like most long running ones, starts at the top, takes a dive. It's hard not to, understandable, but these still pack a lot of flavor and a lot of laughs. So go check them out. They're all on Paramount Plus. Be sure to check out the new one on June 5th, and we will see you next time.